Okay, so now that we have a good overview of the Solidity syntax, let's create a simple contract and put this syntax to work. Okay, so we went ahead and we erased everything. And remember, you can always reference those files, the exercise files, if you want to review this this code. So we already go ahead and we can go ahead and keep this import of Solidity. That's fine. And then let's go ahead and create a contract here. So we're going to say contract, and let's call this contract inheritance. How about that? And then we're going to have our curly brackets. We're going to open our curly brackets and write some things in it. Okay. So we'll create a address, right? Because most contracts come with an address, right? I mean, this is dealing with blockchain. We'll create a Boolean deceased, okay? And then we'll go ahead and do a unit integer of money. All right, money. Then we're gonna go ahead and introduce a new constructor. And when I say constructor, it basically sounds like anything else. You know, you're going to build an instance of variables here inside a constructor. So basically, we're going to do this here, and it's constructor. Did I spell that right? Because, baby, your girl be spelling it all wrong. So yeah, we're gonna make our constructor, and then we're gonna make it at the parentheses, and then make it public, and we're gonna call this constructor payable, right? Payable. There we go. We'll go ahead and get our curly brackets and put in our list of variables here. So we're gonna say that we're gonna say owner, all right? And we can do the message sender because that's who's going to send. And we talked about these global variables, you know, that were available, you know, that were available to message and use these properties, right? So that's what we're going to do. So continuing on, we have our money, right? And our money is a message value. Okay. And then we have deceased. Why? Deceased. And let's just set that as false for now, you know, because the person is not deceased. So no inheritance can be, you know, transferred or anything in that such, right? What else we need here? Oh, we also need an array of addresses, like wallets that we're gonna use. So let's do address. We need our address and then our brackets, and then wallets. Close that out. And we're going to use mappings as well. We're going to do mapping. We're going to map an address, right, to equal or greater than this unit. Not this unit, this integer here. And then this integer, all right, here. And then we're going to call that inheritance. And that's basically inside of this inheritance. I don't know why my thing is sticky here. Inheritance. Okay, so that's basically all we need for this first section. We just have created our contract called inheritance. We have some variables. We have our owner address. And again, this is when talking about blockchain, it's always some type of address in a contract. And then we have our Boolean, is it deceased, yes or no? And then we have our unit of money, how much money we're going to transfer, or how much money is in this inheritance. And then we have a constructor, which is just, again, it is a list of variables, right? And this constructor is public and it's called payable. And these variables, we have our owner, which is our equals our message sender, our money, message value, and deceased. We set that false for now, right? Because he's not dead yet. When he dies, or she, I don't know, we're just making up the story. When they die, this contract will actually execute. For the bare bones of our contract, we also added address wallets, which will have an array of addresses that will message back and forth. And then we'll message there. And then we have our mapping, okay, which it'll map the address to that integer, and that'll basically be the inheritance. So yeah, that's all we need. Let's move on. Now we need to set our conditions of the contract with the modifiers. So let's get into it. We said that earlier, that modifiers are really the conditions to run the functions. We can put as many or as little modifiers as we want, just as long as they are able to, like, they are conditions to validate things, that you want to do, in your code, that you want to run in your code. So let's go ahead and create some modifiers. So let's go down under, let's actually go up here, right? We're going to press enter. We're going to give us some indents, right? So let's go ahead and we have our modifier, and let's call it, we're going to do our curly brackets. Don't forget that. Open and closing this modifier. We have to name our modifier. That would be one. We're going to name it. We're going to name it. What do we name it? Let's call it one owner. That's what we do, one owner. Let's call it one owner. And then we have our curly brackets, and let's go ahead inside our curly brackets, and let's go ahead and give it that it requires to run this function. And it's going to be required to run this here, turn sender, going to equal to the owner, message sender equals to the owner, then close that out. And remember, to fully close out a modifier, you got to do the underscore semicolon. All right. So let's go ahead and do another modifier, right? We're going to say, see, I don't know how to spell. We're going to say modifier is deceased is what we're going to call this. Is that how you spell deceased? Yeah, that's how you spell it. And then curly brackets, open up the curly brackets, and we're going to require it to function deceased. What did I do? I couldn't spell it. I can just, go like this. I don't know why I just didn't press enter. Okay, deceased equals true, right? So it is deceased, and we're gonna make sure that it runs that function, that it is true, and close it. And remember that we have to do that underscore and semicolon to close it out. Okay, so we're gonna do with this modifier, let's just make sure that I spelled this right. See, because I was all over the place. All right, cool. And then, okay, true. And then we have our Boolean value. All right, underscore. So these two modifiers here, our owner and our is deceased, will execute before the functions run in order to check that these values are true. And once we have true on these modifiers, then the function runs and the contract will actually execute. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. Let's finalize the functions for our contract. Now that we have these modifiers, we have the variables that we're going to use, we have this constructor, let's go ahead and do the functions that will actually, run the contract. So we're going to do our keyword function. Oh, let's click here. I don't just click up. There we go. Let's probably give it a space and then tab over. Yes, so let's go ahead and obviously, we're going to say our function. We're going to call it set up. And then in our parentheses, we're going to say an address is, give it the parameter wallet. Yep. And then what else we're gonna call it? What else we're gonna use? A unit integer, yes. And we'll call that inheritance, right? That's close bracket. And then we're gonna make this public and we're going to name it one owner. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our curly brackets. Let's go ahead and get our shift curly. There we go. Our curly brackets and put in our wallets. We're going to use our push function here. So that's the modifier. Let me just make sure. Okay, yes, it says yes. So in the curly brackets, yes, we're gonna add this push function. There we go. Push function here. And we're going to push to the wallet. Okay. And then the inheritance, let's get our brackets. Our inheritance will go to the wallet. And that will equal our actual inheritance. Okay, close that baby out. Make sure I got that up here. Okay, cool. And now that's done with our first function. Okay, so the second function we're going to create is going to be called, let me get back here. Our second function is going to be called money paid. We're going to put our parentheses and let's say that it is private. Okay, and then private is deceased. Okay, don't forget our curly brackets. Okay, what's inside of our curly brackets? What variables we have? We have deceased equals true. Okay, so this is the money gets paid. That's because they are deceased. And no. Whoa. Hold on, function money paid. Oh, excuse me, hold on. So function money paid, private deceased. And then in this, okay, so it's telling me I gotta actually put in, try to jump the gun. I gotta put in a unit integer. And this is where we actually this is like or equal to our wallets, right? Because it's talking about the money paid. I tried to jump up to the die, but anyway, so our function money paid. So we're gonna say I equals, hold on, where's our integer here? So our integer is money paid. We're gonna say that I equals the wallet of whatever the wallet is, the length of the wallet, and that's gonna be the length of wallet length, close that out. And then I plus plus, we move that here so you can see I plus plus right here. And basically, it's that operator, right? We talked about operators. So as long as this loop isn't running, it's just going to pass through the wallets, right? And transfer to the inheritance from the wallets. And in this position, this is why I put I, okay? Let me move that out. Here you go, where I put I. And let me just come over here and close that out. And let's go ahead and just create do I have my curly brackets? Another curly brackets. There we go. And then for my curly brackets, let me scroll down so you can see, so I can see. So we have our curly brackets in our unit, we have our length. Let's go ahead and put our wallets, brackets, I. Okay, that's our integer. I dot transfer, our parentheses, and it's going to transfer inheritance with our brackets, wallets. These are our operators, remember? With our bracket wallets, another bracket, I, okay? So you have two brackets and then your parentheses, and then close it out with the semi. Okay. Boom. That's what it should look like. And then you should have, what that should look like, have your bracket. Okay. So basically, we're running a loop. We're running some type of loop. That's when basically we're basically running for a loop that we're basically passing the money paid if he's deceased. So this is actually the function. So this is the actual function that will execute the inheritance for the person that is deceased. Okay. So let's go ahead and create the final function. Basically, the function that says he died. The one that I tried to jump to. Let's go down and let's do function. And the function is he died, unfortunately. And let's make that function public. And we're going to call on one owner. And then let's get our curlies. And then our curlies, we got him being deceased. And our Boolean says that it is true. Close that out. And if it's true, we're going to go to money paid, okay? Money paid. Close that up and then close that up. All right. So that's basically our final function. And this will run if you state that the person is deceased, and once it's deceased, it's going to pass the money that was set up to the wallet. So we went ahead, we actually set up once we actually set up the actual contract, we'll create a wallet which will pass, actual inheritance pending the person's dead, right? Okay, so this completes our contract. And now all we have to do is test it out and run it. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so in order to test our contract, what we have to do is get a green, it'll take like a green little check mark right here. So we'll go to the compiler, and then it'll say compile. Yes, we want to do it. And it's saying that we've missed something, right? Let's see, this line right here. Of course, it's not going to run the first time. That's too good to be true. So let's see what we messed up. Function setup address. What does it say? It says expected this, but got function setup. But got function. Let's see. Oh, this wasn't closed. That's closed. Okay, let's run it again. Well, we got one. Okay. See, I keep saying unit, and it's unit integer. Okay, cool. So let's compile it again. I got some more. Okay, so 12. What's going on? Deceased is false. Let me see. 1, undeclared identifier. Did you mean decreased or deceased equals false? Oh, because I don't know how to spell, y'all. So let's do it that way with my non-spelling ass. See, this is important why you should be Aquila in the B. Okay. So now I got the green check mark because I made rookie errors. I'm still a rookie in this, but still, I don't know how to spell. So anyway, now that you have it, you're good to go. So now we compile it and we are good to go. Rookie mistakes. So now we need to go over to our run, deploy and run tab. Okay. You can keep this. Let's just keep it. We're not really going to get crazy with it. Okay. Gas limit. Again, we're just testing things out here. So don't even change anything. We can change value. Oh, excuse me. We can change value because, that's kind of, we can just, for example, say the value was 100 for the inheritance. You would do deploy, and you can see here that the contract has been executed, okay? We can even come see here, you see the contract has been executed, and if I want, I can say, died. And then as you see here, basically this value of the inheritance went to the wallet that we specified. And again, it was all we just made up some things, right? We just left whatever the default value was. However, we was basically able to, and we can set up other addresses if we want to. We just use the default ones. But this is in the simplest form how a contract works. And what we did was basically say that your inheritance, if you are, this guy dies, then his inheritance will go from this wallet into this wallet. And there's no need for a third party, a bank, a human interaction. It will automatically execute when this guy is officially pronounced dead or deceased. Okay. And as you can see here, and we basically just deployed it. We basically just created this contract. Now, again, we did this in the browser. We could have did this in another IDE. We could have deployed it to a like a RINC-B testnet or anything like that. But since this is a very beginner's guide on just Solidity itself and how to code a contract from start to finish, this is really all you need to know and expound on. All right, contracts work inside of Solidity. So definitely feel free to play around with these functions, and feel free to continue playing around with the complier, and you should be good to go.